4 years for Coach Woolpert. And then when he took the job at University of San Diego, you remember, and the story behind that, I don't know if you have time for this, but on my senior year at USF, I was going to try to play pro baseball. I was going to play pro baseball, but we had an opportunity to go on a 6-week tour of the Orient for basketball. There was a Jesuit school in Manila called the Ateneo, who was celebrating their 100th centennial. And so USF basketball in those years was the, shall we say, the Duke or North Carolina of college basketball. And we were a Jesuit school. The Ateneo was a Jesuit school, so they invited USF to come over to help them celebrate their centennial. And so I wanted to be a part of that, and I went. And while we were over in the Philippines, we were outside, it was pretty warm over there and so forth, and so during the afternoons we might be out on somebody's patio deck with a swimming pool and so forth. And Coach Woolpert, there was a sudden storm that came by and rain on the slippery surface. He fell down, broke his back. And he was put in a cast from his ankles to his shoulders and sent home. And Ross Judici, our assistant at the time, took over the coaching for the rest of that trip. But when time came for the season to start the following year, Phil wasn't ready. And so Ross Judici was named the assistant coach, and Phil was still not ready, and at the end of that year, and he felt Ross did a good enough job. So he chose not to go back, and Ross was then named the head coach at USF. And Phil did a little work with or I guess it was the American Basketball Association, with the San Francisco Saints. He didn't care too much for that. So he took the job at the University of San Diego, and I was the person that he called to go down with him. Well, San Diego being my hometown, I took the job at USD as a basketball coach, and I was Phil's assistant there. And the one thing that anybody would learn from a guy, a coach like, he was far ahead of it. Texas Western got the reputation of having the first all-black starting line. Coach Woolpert was playing, Casey and Bill and Gene Brown and Hal Perry and all these guys, Warren Baxter, before anybody was. And Casey was the captain of the team. And people used to ask Coach Woolpert, how can you have a black man as a captain? Because he's the leader. He's the leader. And later on, if you want me to talk something about Casey, I will. But anyway, Phil was a man of integrity. Money didn't do anything. A handshake was something that was valid. Now, in this day and age, everybody has to sign a contract for scheduling, for this, for that. You didn't have to do any of that with Coach Woolpert. His word was gold. It was solid. And, as far as I'm concerned, he was my mentor.